Excuse me. Minute. Hello there. I'm Scotty. You're not. And it's time for the most difficult ranking I had to do, except for number 10. Because I liked all of these movies. I think this is the first time that every single one of these is a pretty good. I'm telling you, it's very hard. It's very hard to rank, but I was able to do it one way or another. So let's start off with number 10. And number 10 is going to be, I'm actually going to move this over here so I can put it, Elmo and Grouchland. And quite simply, the reason why it's number 10 is that I don't foresee me putting this in anytime soon. It's fun to watch, but it's a kid's movie chosen by an 11-year-old, so you know, there's that. And I just don't think, like, I'm ever going to go back to this again. I've had this in my possession for years, never watched it. It's been in my collection. I brought it to watch it with my son, and I think when he was little, we watched it once. But, yeah, it's the one that I'm probably never going to rewatch, so. Number 9 is True Romance. And the only reason this is this low, because this was a great movie. It's a good movie. It's a first time watch for me. And I'm most likely going to rewatch it. You know. But it's a first time watch for me. So I'm not very used to it. You know, I'm not very, connected with it. But I enjoyed it. And I enjoyed, the action scenes that are in there, the shooting. Dialogue is great. It's Quentin Tarantino, although reportedly this was rewritten a lot, so who knows. But, well, that was the other one. But anyway, the performances are great. I'm not really into it as much as I am the other movies, But it's a good movie. Number 8 is going to be Natural Born Killers. And this is like the second or third time watch for me. This is a good movie. But I feel like this is what I'm not going to go back to watching very often. The only reason it's up higher than True Romance, which I would probably watch more, is because it's the better of the two movies. I feel like Woody Harrelson delivers a better performance than Christian Slater. I feel like the writing's a little bit better, and I know that this is the one that Tarantino, there was rewrites on it, and so he kind of disowned it. But I feel like this was written a little bit better. I like the stylistic stuff better. The little Johnny joke is funny. And it's just great. And this is where most of you who would say, well, this is how is this going to be? Because, Scotty, you're going to put your two movies that you liked, that you picked, at the top. They're going to be the top two because they're the ones that you picked. They're your favorites, right? The answer is no, because number 7 is going to be Slackers, which, rewatching this again, reminded me how good of a comedy this is. An underrated comedy, by the way. And I love this movie, but it turns out it's not as good as some of the other ones. And yeah, Devon Sawa is a great actor, and you've seen that. If you watched Chucky series, he's great. He's played 3 different characters in the span of 2 seasons, and he's great. And this, and Jason Schwartzman's character in this is weird, but Jason Schwartzman is a great actor. He's able to portray this character greatly. And all the characters in this are good. And the comedy is great. And it's just a great movie. You notice I'm not saying much negative about these, other than some of them might not be rewatchable, because I really don't have much negative to say. Number 6 is my other one, Timeline. And this is right smack dab in the middle of this ranking, because it's probably the most middle movie. With a lot of, historical errors, but it's still a fun watch. And while I'm not big on, I like the whole King Arthur stuff. This is not King Arthur stuff, but that sort of swords and battles and stuff like that. I meant swords and horses. Swords and horses and battles. Swords and swords. Swords and horses and battles and, Merlin type stuff. I like sword. Sword and Stone, one of my favorite Disney movies, you know. And I like this movie. And yeah, the action is good. The twist, you know, it's a good twist at the end. So yeah. Number 5, Jerry Butler's back again with Law Abiding Citizen, which is another first time watch. But unlike True Romance, again, it's the performances. Jamie Foxx, Jerry Butler, very great. I feel like it's not a heavy action oriented. There's explosions, but it's not heavy action oriented. It's more on the dialogue. It's more on the you have to sit there and think, how is he doing this? How's he getting away with this? And when it's revealed, you're like, oh. And then you're thinking, how the hell did he get away with that? That sort of thing. But it's a good movie. And I mentioned in my review, they're doing a sequel, standalone sequel. But I think it should be a continuation. I sort of mentioned this in my review, but I think it should pick up, like you could de-age him a little bit, but pick up right after the events of the first film and say that, Jimmy Foxx's character, Nick, is on trial and he gets a slap on her. Basically, you get however long. When did this come out? 2009. So that's 13 years ago. So you could say he got 5 years in prison, and now it's 13 years later, and he's sort of moved on from this, but his wife has left him because of it, took the daughter. The daughter is now old enough, 13 years, she was 10, so she'd be 23. So the daughter has some kind of communication with him, but there's problems there. And you could make it about the daughter character. She's now, she just graduated from law school to be like a dad, sort of thing. And now she's investigating the case. And the big twist is, it's actually Nick committing the crimes, but they don't know that. There's someone else doing it. Nick is retired, but he's brought back in to try to fix what's going on. And then it's revealed Nick is the one doing it because he realized that Clyde was right. So now he is continuing Clyde's quest to prove the justice system wrong. It's just an idea. I don't think they're going to go that way, but it's just an idea. I know Jared Butler is producing, but yeah. Anyway, number 4 is Captain Ron, which is my second watch of this, by the way. And I did a review of this with Big LT on this channel, and I enjoyed this movie. I think Kurt Russell is fantastic. I don't think anyone else could play Captain Ron and Kurt Russell. I didn't say this in the review because I forgot to mention it. When I first saw this, I thought it was Jeff Bridges. I mean, look at this distance. You could say it's Jeff Bridges, but it's not. It's Kurt Russell. If you didn't see the giant Kurt Russell on there you go. But Martin Short is great in this as the panicky father character. Yeah, they're contrasting because you got Captain Ron, who's laid back. Martin Short is very not laid back. He's very panicky. He's very, we have to do this, we have to do that. You can't do this, you can't do that, no, this sort of thing. And it works. And it's a funny comedy. It's PG-13. It's not a family comedy, but it's still a good movie. There's bits in it, I guess. But yeah. Number 3, is the other one by Brandon. Rock of Ages. Rock of Ages. And this was the second one I did, right? After Elmo and Grassland. And I feel like this is one of the better musicals out there. I think it would be in my top 5 along with, I don't know, I'm not going to say it because something coming in 2023, I might put that list on there. But all the acting is great. The musicals, it's a 2-block musical of 80s rock. I'm a fan of 80s rock, so it works. And after this, I found a playlist on Spotify after I watched this of 80s rock, 80s hard rock, and I was just jamming with it because it's fantastic music. Okay, number 2 is Pixels. And I know you hated it, no, it's a terrible movie. It should be at the bottom. Let me tell you something. As a kid who I grew up in the 90s, but I had an Atari. I had a computer. I played a lot of these games: Pac-Man, Miss Pac-Man, Tetris, Centipede, Galaga, Galaxian, Frogger, Donkey Kong, Mario. I played all these old 80s games. And so this speaks to me. Yes, it's Adam Sandler, but as you may know, I'm an Adam Sandler fan. I've never seen any of the movies that I've hated. Keep in mind, I haven't seen Jack and Jill or That's My Boy, which are considered his two worst. But then again, people say this is one of his worst. And I enjoyed this movie immensely. And so it gets number 2 because it's one of the most recent watches, but it's a fantastic film to me. It's very good. You know what I mean? Number 1. So let's go. Who gets the top prize? Who picked the best movie that I'm ranking here? So my son had the worst movie. The next 2 were by Eric, all the way down in Florida. These are all good movies, by the way. Next is me, so I didn't even have the best. Followed by Brandon, right? Big LT, Brandon again, and my son in second place. So, judging from that, the number 1 goes to Big LT with Twister. And much like with Pixels, watching this again, this is fantastic. I don't know if I gave this a to the moon or anything. I'm pretty sure this is pretty good, but this is great. Yes, there are some problems with it, like the tornado roaring, or the fact that they would not survive just being attached to a pipe. But this is a great movie. The acting is good. Even like some of the tornado stuff, the CGI, not so bad. You know, I still don't understand why anyone would chase a tornado. I think it's stupid, but it's a great movie. And so it gets number 1 on this list, one of the most difficult rankings. And there it is. I am done. So I'll upload the videos, but I am done with the Big 10. And I will not be doing another one until next year. I got other ones to do. And I've already said before, Pick 10 80s to, Pick 10 90s to. And get other ideas. Towards the end of December, I'm going to release a video, maybe on New Year's, about what 2023 is going to hold, because there's going to be some changes on the channel for the better, I'm sure. I'm not going to disclose any of them here, but there's going to be some changes. Kind of try to free up my schedule a little bit, so I don't have to constantly. I will say this as a little hint. The daily uploads, which, as you may see, have been a little more sporadic, because I need to, are going to, it's not going to be daily anymore. Not once a day. You'll get... I haven't decided if I want to do 2 or 3 days a week. I'm leaning towards Monday, Wednesday, Friday. But when I release that video, when I do the video and release it, I will have a more concrete schedule for you guys. Except for theme months, there still be, but that's for later. But so what are your ranking of these 10 movies? I'm pretty sure everyone's going to put Pixels at the bottom, but I liked it. Okay? Thank you for watching. I've been Scotty, and I'll see you in the next one.